What's up, everybody? Welcome to day 7 of the TTrades 2R challenge. So, if anyone is following my journal in Discord, I update it every day. At home today, I had to take care of the kid because my wife is very pregnant and we didn't have our normal nanny here that watches my son. So I had to take over those duties. My wife also had a doctor's appointment. So I basically, I could have entered a trade today. There was one setup that I'm sure you see on the screen right now. But I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to have to, I know I don't have to babysit a trade. It's the whole point of this. But with, the high volatility and me not being able to pay full attention, I decided to just not trade today, which is fine. But we did have a great setup. So let's go through price action. As you can see, we had a big drop from CPI. But before that, we had a pretty significant drop. Ignore CPI candle because it's insane. You'll see that we had quite a drop overnight in London. Right, so London set high of the day and came down and did a lot of damage. CPI did a little resweep of some highs here. Didn't get this one, but it did get that one. And dumped down. Now, if you're following my rules of this challenge, you'll know that I'm doing a 5-minute change in state delivery. This is a fixed 2R challenge, and I am only trading. The entry has to be after 9:30. And up until noon is what I'm doing for my quote-unquote kill zone. I'm going to be honest. I've sort of adjusted my regular trading model a lot this last week. Maybe because of this challenge. I don't know. I've been working on some new stuff, and I've been honing that to make my model. So I don't actually trade based off this on my other account, but it's a cool challenge. I think 5-minute change of state delivery is pretty powerful at specific times, in this kill zone. So it's worth a go. I had pretty good success so far. We're 2-2. Anyway, this is the trade I would have taken, right? So come down here. This candle, I don't really, I count this whole thing as a series. I'm going to treat this as the order block and not this big long wick. But we do have a change in state delivery, right, at 9:30. Actually, 9:35's candle. So my entry would be at the top of that. I would go below this low. It's very low. But it's fine because we're doing 2R. 2R would have been right there. And as you can see, I sort of hate this tool. It would have been a successful trade. Yeah. So that would have been my trade today if I took a trade, which I didn't. It actually would have got me in before I had to go on daddy duty. And it took off and went to target pretty quick. So would have been a pretty good trade. Now, if we want to recap the price action, I can give you a little bit of a look into what I'm doing now for my current model. So my current model on my challenge, my other challenge account, my 150K that I'm trying out is based on 15-minute and 1 minute. Let me get back to the open. Okay, so 15 minute and 1 minute. So as far as entry, I don't really give a shit. Change of state delivery is still very important. But I don't care if it's a breaker, that's great. If it's a change of state delivery, pretty much always has to happen. But if I'm entering off of a fair value gap or a breaker, I don't really care. The one big difference for this model is I'm using fibs to project. I believe I actually used a 5-minute projection on this because it looked the nicest. Yeah, so now as you can see, the 4 on the 5-minute, the last swing, which is the last swing I see here, the -4, it was my target, but I went with an entry. I did actually enter this on my other account. I went with an entry on the breaker on the 1 minute. So you could take, here's that same swing, right? You could technically take maybe this low to this high. Slightly different, but pretty much the same. Or sorry, this low. That might have been actually a little bit cleaner, right? It's fine. It's not that important. The important part is the direction and getting a reasonable target. So the trade I actually took on my challenge account today was based on change of state delivery. My stop was actually under the breaker block here. As soon as we had a breaker block, and I went in there, right? And I actually just took -2. So that was my trade right there on my challenge account. And as you can see, it was a 6.3 risk to reward. And I wanted to go here, but I was a little worried because it was extremely bearish this morning. So I was a little worried there, but it would have been a cool 10.9R trade with a stop under the breaker. So that's a pretty nice trade. After that, so what I like to do with this model is -4 is terminus, right? Like it's the end of the projection. So at the end of the projection, I like to say basically anything above that is manipulation. And since this was a retracement play and it came up really nicely from this drop, probably around OTE, I would guess. I don't really know, but probably around OTE. Then a continuation could happen, right? So what I like to see here is we hit -4 and then we manipulate above that, right? And put in a change of state delivery again. So I actually took another trade off this. So, and this was all on my phone. I was I was really feeling the price action today. So what were we doing? This. I was doing this as my projection. So last swing, as far as I see it. Now this is a little bit of my sauce, so I'm still working on it, but that's how I would see the final swing in this 1 minute manipulation and change of state delivery. I got in when this high was swept. So I was just watching this. I was like, okay, I wonder if this is going to give a confirmation, right? And the confirmation was here. So this in itself was pretty good. But then when it comes back up, sweeps this high, making an intermediate term high, and puts in another change in state delivery, I actually got in on that order block here. Now, if you see this order block, it's pretty good. So that is a bearish order block, right? Intermediate term high, change the delivery. So I didn't take this to the target that I wanted to, but I should have. I bailed because I had to take care of the kiddo. But my initial target was a -2 again. So that was a cool 3.15. I got in, let's see, after the immediate turn. Oh, sorry, I was already on that. Yep. So after the change of state delivery, it was about right there. I can show you executions if you really give a shit, but did it make 2? Oh, no. So, yeah, I actually took it when it made all these peaks and then came back down. I think I took it off around here. So I ended the day about up around $1,000, something like that. So it was nice. But I need to continue to gain some confidence in my projecting skills because they're coming along pretty well. -4 projection would have made another 6.6 R there. So that's pretty good. For the final play of the day, once again, what do? We see that the -4 has been hit. We see everything else as sort of extra manipulation past that, an extra push. So for the last move of the day, we hit a big target, previous week low, change in state delivery on the 1 minute once again. And if you project here, I ignore that candle because that one is not really something I'm interested in. You get your -4 target hit on that change. I didn't take this trade either. I was so close to hitting the button, but I was like, man, it's so late in the day. This was 3 whatever. I thought this thing could be out of juice at any time. So I ended up not taking the trade. This would have been a better projection here. On top of that, that's the last swing, really. Either of those would have worked. But as you can see, it didn't really provide great entry on this change state delivery. There was no tap back into this series of down close candles. There was this little thing here, but not great entry conditions. Probably wouldn't have gotten in anyway if I did want to take that trade. But it is something I noticed that was pretty cool, that we had 3 good projections hitting today, and it would have been, if you can have the confidence to take that, would have been a very nice day with just one contract, right? Just one mini would have been plenty. Anyways, that's the price action today. Heading into tomorrow, very bearish on the 1 day chart here, right? One thing to keep in mind though This is sort of like a propulsion block, I guess. I think potentially, right, on the daily. It did come up to close above that, right? And it actually closed above the block completely. It stabbed the shit out of it though with that wick. So I'm looking right here on the daily. So you know, doesn't feel great to think that's gonna hold up, but it is something to note. As with any day that we have a fairly violent expansion and a close beneath the previous day low, your target for the next day, your first target for the next day is going to be that low again. Even if it's just a resweep, often that is going to happen, right? So that is one target to have in mind for tomorrow, is that previous day low for a resweep, and then it can take off and go bullish again, but it's put in quite a bearish bit of structure here, right? If you look at the 1 hour, it's over here on this right side. Yeah, we've had a nice little change in state delivery. Hasn't tapped back into that, so for the hourly, we have a lot of low resistance liquidity, to be honest. So we could see if that is going to get pushed up later on this week. We have some more news coming up tomorrow. Looks like I think it's at 8:30. It says 8 a.m., but that's just because it's the hourly. The 8 o'clock hour it hits. This says 9:15, which I think pretty sure is wrong. Let's put the news table on the chart here for 1 second, just so we can confirm this. Yeah, so tomorrow we don't have anything. Could have swore we had something. Yeah, tomorrow we don't have anything, I guess. Thursday we do have a lot of shit, and Friday PPI. So still plenty of volatility for the upcoming couple days, the rest of the week. So we'll see where this weekly candle finishes. It's been a crazy one. Monday took previous week high, Tuesday took previous week low. So we're at an outside bar on the weekly candle already. Well, not really sure what to expect, but we'll see, and we will react, right? That's all for tonight. Hope everyone had a great day. Happy CPI day. That was a pretty good one. Good price action. So hope you guys took advantage, and good luck in your trading the rest of the week. I'll see you tomorrow.